Welcome back once again to howtocookgreatfood.com. If you haven't already, please click that button and subscribe to our channel. Okay, on the menu today I'm just going to make a really simple lamb and potato stew. Let me run through some ingredients. Here I've got some lamb, I've got some off-cut ribs, a bit of the end of the leg. It's pretty tough, this is, but we're going to cook it for a long time. It's going to be really beautiful. Down here I've got some salt and pepper, about 1 teaspoon of each, 1 teaspoon of dried rosemary. If you've got fresh, that'd be nice. And I've got some bay leaves here. I've got about 4 or 5 medium-sized tomatoes here, cut in quarters, halves, it doesn't matter, they're gonna really cook down. I've got about 3 medium-sliced red onions, you could use white. I've got some chunky cut carrots, I've used about 3 or 4. And then potatoes, I've peeled those, give them a little wash. There, I mean, there's a fair amount of potatoes there. After all, it is a lamb and potato stew. I've got some celery at the back here. And then just here you can see, again, I've got onions, potatoes, and carrots. The reason we've got these is we're going to cook with these first. And they're going to really break down and give us a beautiful gravy. And then we'll add the other guys that will stay nice and whole. So, about the same amount of onion, chopped nice and small, 2 medium-sized potatoes, chopped nice and small, and about 3 carrots, sliced really thinly. When they cook, like I say, they'll completely disappear and become part of the sauce. We're going to use some garlic in this. We're going to start it off with some oil. I'm going to be using a pressure cooker for this one, just because it's so much faster, and I really want to get this falling off the bone. Really tender. Okay, let's go and do it. So let's get started. The first thing I need to talk about is our pressure cooker. If you don't have one of these, of course you can still make this the old-fashioned way, but it's going to take a long time, maybe 3 or 4 hours to be honest, to get it how we want. Invest in one of these, they're super safe. They're not like the old days where they used to explode and so and so. Anyway, in there I've got some oil. I'm just using a sunflower oil. You can use anything you want. We're going to start by dropping our meat in. And like I say, this is actually all the offcuts of a large leg that I just made, and a few little ribs and that. So in that goes, along with our salt, pepper, dried rosemary, if you've got fresh that would be super, and bay leaf. So here it goes there. And those small cut potatoes, throw them in now. Those small cut carrots, let's get them in. And the small cut onions. What we're going to do with the lid off, we're going to just stir this around and brown it up a little. Get some of those flavours in and on our meat. And then I'll be back. I mean, just do this for about 4 or 5 minutes, lid off, on a high heat, stir it around. See you then. There you go, that's just 4 or 5 minutes just to sort of get some of those flavours happening there. Some garlic. I've got roughly chopped garlic there. I've got about 1 head, which is a whole garlic. Those tomatoes can go in right now. Like I say, really, doesn't matter. You can put them in whole. Doesn't matter how you chop them at all. They're going to break down. Then I've got a couple of cups of water. I'm not using a stock. This doesn't need it, quite honestly. We've got so much lovely flavours going on there. The reason you need that water is because we're going to use a pressure cooker. It has to have some moisture in it. And that's plenty, as you can see. So I'm going to go on with the lid of my pressure cooker. I'm going to bring it to pressure. Then I'm going to cook it just for about 20 to 25 minutes. If you're doing this in a conventional pan, you need to cook this for about 2 hours at this stage, I would think. I'll be back then. Okay, so I've got my lid off. Let it calm down a bit. So as you can see, those vegetables are, if I press them, they just turn into nothing. We've got an amazing, beautiful stock there. That meat, look at that, it's coming off the bone. Let me see if I can, ooh, that's hot. There you go, look. It's just falling off now. Just with this wooden spoon. Absolutely wonderful. It's thickening up nicely as well, which is great. Okay, let's get some more stuff in there. So now I'm going to go with my sliced onions. I've got some celery here which I'm going to put in. I've blanched my celery already. You don't have to, it's just I use the very bottom of it, like the root. Let's get some carrots and those potatoes in. See if we can give this a little bit of a stir, but it's a bit... I mean, look at that bone, for example. All that marrow has come right out of that. And we couldn't see it earlier when it was covered. Now let's just stir this around. Check this for seasoning now. You might want to add a bit more salt if you know, maybe. And then we're going to cook this. I'm going to put the lid back on and cook it for about another 10 minutes. I mean, look at that bone. Look at that. So tender. So tender that is. So, yeah, I'm going to cook this with the pressure lid on for about another 10 minutes or until the potatoes are cooked. Again, if you're not using a pressure cooker, it's probably going to take you about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I'll be back then. So here we go then, we're done. This meat is incredibly tender. I mean, check out that guy. That was full of meat. It's just completely off the bone now. All down to this pressure cooker, to be honest. Quick cooking as well. Just check these potatoes. Lovely. They're beautiful. We've got a beautiful thick, can you see how thick it is? It's nice and thick, and that's because of the two types of cuts of vegetables that we used. So no need for flour or anything. Some people put flour in. This is absolutely delicious. It's a lovely kind of heartwarming kind of good for you type food. Hope you enjoy it. See you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.